Hello guys and welcome back. Thank you guys for all joining again. So this video is going to be a little bit different. We're diving into the world of DevOps. I think it's beneficial for you guys to learn about infrastructure as well and how to automate it. That way when you guys are building out your own labs or you want to host something locally, you guys know how to do it efficiently and quite easily. Alright, so to get started, we're going to need to install a few tools, right? The first tool being Chocolatey. So go ahead and go to chocolatey.org/install. And if you scroll down, you'll see this little section here, install Chocolatey for individual use. You'll be able to copy the install commandlet, open up a PowerShell administrator if you're using Windows. If not, I think you can use a few other tools here as well. And for example, there'll be a generic tool, so you can install that as a package. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and install this in PowerShell in Windows, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in. I already have Chocolatey installed, but you can see that it detected that it's already been installed on my machine, but in your case, it'll go ahead and run that install. All right, so once that's installed, you can go ahead and validate that install using choco/version, I believe, or choco/:version. And it will tell you exactly what version of Chocolatey you have. If you can see this version value, that means you've installed that, okay? So now we have Chocolatey installed, we can now install our primary tool, which is Vagrant, all right? So what is Vagrant and what is it used for? Vagrant is a tool for building and managing virtual machine environments in a single workflow. That's pretty much it, okay? It's infrastructure as code. You can write a script that can deploy multiple VMs in one single commandlet, which is Vagrant up. I'll show you that in a second. But basically that's it. We can automate all our environments in Oracle Box, VMware, or Hyper-V. All right, so you can see how useful this is. Similar to Terraform, but it's mainly built and used for local environments. All right. So how you would do it is you would use a commandlet called choco install vagrant. So go ahead and paste that in. I already have it installed, but it'll go ahead and install that for you. We'll need two other things. Once Vagrant is installed, you can verify that's installed as well by using, just give me a second, I think it's help. Let it load. Sorry, it's vagrant-version. So vagrant-version. And you can see that's installed there as well. All right, so that's already in place in your environment variables, and we can go ahead and start using Vagrant. Cool. We'll need a few more plugins. So we'll need to install one called VMware ESXI because we're gonna go ahead and start automating the ESXI environment. So go ahead and install that. All right, so we've installed that plugin. We now need to install another plugin called Vagrant WinRM. So I'm just gonna go ahead and paste that here. If it does paste, one moment. Right, and this will be basically a protocol to communicate with Windows machines. Let's go ahead and install that. That'll take a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Okay, awesome. So now that's gone ahead and installed. The last plugin we're going to install is Vagrant Reload. And this helps us reboot virtual machines if needed. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'll be back in a second. So awesome, so that's gone ahead and installed. We can now go ahead and just verify all our plugins have been installed by using Vagrant plugin list. And that should tell you which plugins have been installed. So we can see Vagrant VMware ESXI, Reload, and WinRM synced folders. Okay, so now it's time to grab our image. So Vagrant also has somewhat of like a package manager, but it's more of like an ISO manager. They're called boxes, and you can go ahead and install it or install them from app.vagrantup.com/boxes, and you'll be able to install any image you'd like here. Most of these are developed by other individuals. Some of them are customized, some of them are not. In this case, we're going to go ahead and install this one in particular, created by Stefan Scherer. Excuse me if I got that name wrong. And it'll be this one right here. Okay, so it's Windows 2016 eval. You can go ahead and get any box you'd like, but this is the one we're going to go ahead and install. So now we can close PowerShell. I'm going to start everything from git bash here, and I'll be using git bash from now on from this lab. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cd into a directory. In this case, it'll be my D directory. It's just another data disk that I have here. If you can see here, I have a folder called Vagrant VMs. So I'm going to go ahead and cd into that. And I'm just going to create a new directory, Windows 2016. Awesome. So we're going to cd into that Windows directory that I just created. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and add a Vagrant box. In this case, you guys don't have to, you actually don't have to cd into this, but I'll just go ahead and cd into it. This will install the box in a different location anyway, but go ahead and run this commandlet here. All right, I'm not going to go ahead and run this commandlet because I already have it, but this will bring in the box and install it into Vagrant. And where a box is stored, if you go ahead into your file explorer, they're located in your C users, whatever your username is. Vagrant D boxes, and you can see I have a full all these other boxes downloaded. In this case, I'll be using Stefan Scherer, Windows 2016. All right, so now we're pretty much ready to start building out our Vagrant environment or our ESXi environment, but we just have one more dependency we need to install, and that's the OVF tool. Basically, whoops, open up a new tab. Basically, the OVF tool is VMware's tool to go ahead and develop for VMware. All right. You don't need to use this if you're using Oracle Box or Hyper-V. This is only specific for the ESXi environment. And because we are automating the ESXi environment, we do need to go ahead and install this tool. So go ahead to this website here, developer.vmware.com/web/tool, and it will be any tool above 4.5 and above, because that will support ESXi 8 environments. All right, so let's go ahead and install this one here, which is Windows 64-bit. Click on download. What that will do is go ahead and download. Oops, I don't have this downloaded anymore, so I'll go ahead and download this now. Just pause the video. All right, so it'll go ahead and install a folder or download a folder. You can go ahead and extract this. And pretty much what you can do is wherever you want to go ahead and install this tool, you can copy this folder. In my case, I've got this in HashiCorp Vagrant bin OVF tool here. And what I've done is, if you go in the Windows environment, in a way you can edit environmental variables. And what you'll need to do is just add the path to it. So see HashiCorp Vagrant bin OVF tool. And you'll also need to add the path down here as well in system variables. Here, Vagrant bin OVF tool. So depending on where you go ahead and extract the file and save it, you'll need to add that. And now you should just be able to type in OVF tool or OVF tool help. And if you are seeing this little commandlet here, that means you've gone ahead and installed that properly. All right, awesome. All right, cool. So now everything's set up and we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and clear out the screen. Just gonna go ahead and minimize everything here and expand this. So we can now go ahead and clear out the screen, and we're just gonna go ahead and see where we are. So we're in the new directory that I created. I'm just gonna go ahead and run Vagrant init, and I'm gonna show you exactly how this looks like once you've initialized it. You can see it places a file in this directory called Vagrant file. It's just a default file. So what we can do is actually code. I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code Editor to open this file up. You can use whatever you'd like. Notepad++, but I'll be using the VS Code Editor. If we open this up, you can see that this is a dummy file that it gives you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and remove this and add our own file. This is written in Ruby on Rails. So if you're not familiar with Ruby on Rails, it's quite simple. We'll go through the basics, but you'll get the handling of it pretty quickly. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select all this, delete it, and paste in this code, and I'm just going to go into it one by one. So basically, this is Ruby on Rails. This is a block of code. Whatever you specify in this pipelines here, is basically the variable that it's going to be calling to adjust whatever parameters you want on that VM itself. All right, so just quickly here, we're naming the VM Web01 within Vagrant anyway. So we're defining that within Vagrant that this VM that we are creating is named Web01. We're using that Windows 2016 box. The host name of it is actually Web01 as well. The guest is Windows, of course. We're going to be using WinRM to communicate with it. And we're also going to specify that we want a local administrator, and the password of it is password. Obviously, in production environments, you want to go ahead and make this a bit more complex. We're also going to provision this VM and rename it using, we're going to rename the computer to Web01 as well. And then we're going to go ahead and reload or reboot that machine. This block here, actually, you can now specify, we're using the provider called VMware ESXI first of all. And within this block, we can specify what storage we want for it, where we want to store it in data store, the username and password for the ESXI. So basically what you'll need to do is point this to the ESXI host, and then whatever the username and password for that ESXI is, you're going to have to put this in here, right? And then you can specify what memory, what CPU, etc., etc. All right, so I'll link it down below on more information about how you guys can specify what VMs you want. If you want to go ahead and run multiple VMs, you can go ahead and copy this code multiple times. All right, and you can rename this, etc., etc. All right, awesome. So we're pretty much good here to go. I'm going to go ahead and pause this video and type in the password for and type in these details. All right, sweet. So once you've gone ahead and filled in those details and pointed it to your ESXi host and also given the username and password, we can now go ahead and run this file. So how you would run it is with the commandlet vagrant up. So if we go ahead and run that command, this is going to take a while. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video. All right, cool. So once that's finished running and this command is finished deploying, you can see that it's built the machine. So you can see that Web01 was being built, what ESXi host it's been built to, the network it's on, but we didn't specify anything. So you can see here the network wasn't specified. So it's using VM network and it's using the least used data store because we didn't specify that as well in the Vagrant config. You can see that it's been given a name within the ESXi, what box it's been used, how much memory we've given it, and virtual CPU we've given it as well. You can also see that it's powered it on and the state is now running. And there was an issue with setting the host name, but we can have a look at that a bit later. All right, awesome. So now let's go back into our ESXi host. In my case, I'm running it on 192.168.1.35. I'm just going to go ahead and input my root password here. And there we go. We've got a Windows VM machine running. And if we console into it, it's looking a bit weird now. And we go ahead and log into it, we can see it's created a normal local host or local account, which is Vagrant. We don't want that. And you can see the administrative password has been created as well. And you can create this password whatever you like. Cool. And ta-da, we're now logged into the machine. All right, awesome. So now, if you want to go ahead and stop this machine, you can run vagrant halt. And that'll go ahead and stop the machine. You can see that machine has been successfully shut down, powered off. And if you want to go ahead and definitely remove this machine from the ESXi environment, we can run vagrant destroy. Sorry, it's vagrant destroy. If I can go ahead and spell. And you can see that it's gone ahead and destroyed that environment. We can go ahead and run vagrant global status to see if any other VMs are running or have been deployed. I have other VMs in here, but you guys shouldn't see the Web01 here. Hold on. run that one more time. Sometimes you have to run it one or two times. And now if we do Vagrant global status, you can see Webber 1 isn't there anymore, but this one here, don't mind this one. This is a different Webber 1 that I've been using. You can see that the other ESXI host has actually been destroyed. Awesome. Okay guys, so awesome. So that comes to the end of the video lesson here. You guys now know how to automate and deploy a virtual ESXI environment using Vagrant. And you guys know how to also deploy multiple VMs using Vagrant. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that lesson. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Bye.